Hi, my name is Fritz. Welcome to this introduction to performing an assessment with Risk Management Studio. The goal of risk assessment is to identify risks and provide a basis for selecting security measures. Risk assessments should be reviewed regularly. When we open up the Assessment tab, we are presented with a list of already available assessments in the system. This list is presented in the upper half of the Assessment tab. In the lower half of the Assessment tab, we have general information regarding the selected assessment from the list. Information displayed in the lower half of the Assessment tab includes the name of the assessment, the name of the business identity it belongs to, the duration of the assessment, basic audit information, along with the level of security risk. Also, on the lower half of the Assessment tab, we have the scope and basic criteria of the assessment. Some of the information can be changed directly through the Assessment tab, but to edit an existing assessment, we start by opening it with a double click like so. Through the various tabs, we now have access to all the information entered earlier into this assessment and can change it. To get a good overview over what information is entered where, let's start from scratch with a new assessment. In order to make a new one, we go back to the Assessment tab and find the new Add New Assessment button. A window will pop up, asking you to choose which business entity you wish to use. This is a prerequisite, so if you have not made any business entities yet, you should do so now and return to this tutorial when you have done so. Choose a business entity and click OK. An empty assessment will open up. Let's start by giving the assessment a name. In our case, DEF Demo Assessment. Please note that it's a good idea to regularly save your work by either pressing the Control button and S, or the Save button in the upper left-hand corner, like so. Here in the right-hand corner, we define the duration of the assessment from start to finish. So let's say this will take 1 month, like so. You'll notice that the security risk is currently at 0%. This figure is automatically calculated and will be updated when you start inserting information into our assessment. The scope and basic criteria can be as long or short as you like, but should accurately describe your intentions for each assessment. Notice that the assessment is already present in the assessment list. If we double-click on the newly created assessment, we're taken to it. Now that we have filled in all the basic information, we can start adding the assets to our assessment. In order to accurately evaluate the security risk, we will have to add all relevant assets into the assessment. To add assets to the assessment, you click on the Add New Asset button on the Asset List toolbar. The assets are also prerequisites, so if you have not defined your assets yet, please do so now and then return to this tutorial. We'll select 5 assets for this demo. For each asset, the ISO 27001 standard stipulates that we should assign a person responsible for the asset. We can also assign an operator to the assets or asset group. Next, we will assess the asset's confidentiality, integrity, and availability, along with its value to the company. These values are all assessed qualitatively. Confidentiality, integrity, and availability are the main aspects of information security. Confidentiality means protecting sensitive information from unauthorized publication, access, or interception, while integrity means ensuring that information is correct and undamaged and that the software is functioning correctly. And at last, availability means ensuring that information and service is available to authorized users when needed. When we have assessed the values and saved the information, the Risk Management Studio will calculate the risk for this particular asset or asset group. Risk Management Studio will also calculate the risk for the entire assessment. To simplify, the Risk Management Studio comes with predefined asset categories. Users then define their own assets and place them into the most appropriate categories. The categories are mapped to specific threats, which are in turn mapped to specific controls from the ISO 27001 standard. This mapping was done by our in-house specialists, but can be extended by users. To finish off the assessment of this particular asset, go through the list of risks that the system suggests for this asset. We remove the ones that are not relevant and evaluate the impact and probability of each given threat and the vulnerability of the assets towards the threat. When we have done so, the Risk Management Studio will calculate the security risk of the given asset. So now the security risk has jumped to 35.4%. Finally, in the last tab, we have a list of all the risks pertaining to the particular assessment. Here we have a good overview over which risks need to be addressed, and with our easy-to-use sorting functions, you can group the risks according to your needs. Thank you for your attention.